Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Thank you so much for joining us for another segment. We're going to be speaking with Diana Peninger. She's joining us here as President and CEO of Reproductive Solutions to discuss ProteX. Now, ProteX is a new semen collection method that reduces damage, can be collected at home, and extends viable life to the sperm. Welcome to Health Professional Radio. Diana, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Neil.
President and CEO of Reproductive Solutions. Give us a bit of insight into your professional background and talk about the mission of Reproductive Solutions.
Right. So I actually come from the chemical industry. I spent 30 years in the chemical industry. My background is in leading global businesses, both in specialty chemicals and food ingredients, as well as medical device materials. Mm-hmm. So in my career, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and bring science-based technologies to market. And it's really what I did throughout my career. Mm-hmm. And so when I left the chemical industry, began to really think about how to help young companies bring their technologies forward and grow and make it available to the masses, to the rest of the world. And so RSI is an example of this, and I saw an opportunity to bring technology that was going to help people into the market.
Well, what would you say is the nature of male fertility problems?
Now, infertility is on the rise, and the male contributes about 40% of that. 1 in 8 couples today are actually having trouble conceiving, and that's about 7 million couples in the United States and almost 50 million globally. Unbelievably, about 10%, only 10% get treatment. We have seen statistics that show that potentially that sperm counts have gone down between 50 to 60% over the last several decades. Mm. And when we think about why that is, there are lifestyle changes, there are environmental impacts that truly affect the male side of that infertility. And they actually contribute to these infertile challenges today by about 40%. So when we think about why the lifestyle, obesity, BMI, diabetes, our sedentary lifestyle, especially over the last couple of years, and then exposure to man-made materials. So all of those things contribute to infertility, and then especially to male fertility. The good thing from the male side is that sperm is regenerated about every 90 days, and so there are opportunities for men to actually improve their sperm health by making these lifestyle changes.
When it comes to collection of specimens, are there different collection methods based on whether or not the specimen is going to be used down the line, say maybe years, stored someplace with a random couple or coming in, or maybe it's going to be used in a surrogate situation, or maybe used for a specific couple immediately?
Right. So sperm collection has been the same since the late 70s, when fertility treatments actually became available. And that is being used. They use the urine specimen cup. Now, this collection has not changed over that 50 years. And we know that sperm collection actually causes damage to sperm, right? So RSI actually thought about that process and how it can be improved. And so if you improve sperm, whether you're using a fertility, collecting for a fresh fertility treatment today, or you are preserving for the future, you want to have your absolute best sperm. So ProteX, our product, was designed specifically for semen collection to reduce the sperm damage during that particular process.
Now, when you say designed specifically for sperm collection, I'm assuming that the go-to method has been a collection process that was used in other specimen collection as well.
Yes, absolutely. So here's The history of using this sperm collection, the old traditional sperm collection process, was that it had to be collected and processed in 1 hour. So if the new advanced technology allows you to collect a higher quality sperm with greater health, and it keeps that sperm at higher health for 48 hours, right? So the big difference is that you can collect at home. You can be confident that you have a healthier sperm sample, and it gives you the time to bring it back into the clinic, and then the clinic has time then to process it. 48 hours versus 1 hour.
Are there any chemical aspects to this new collection system that preserves the sperm, as you say, and limits damage?
Right. So ProteX actually, the design of ProteX actually tricks the sperm into believing that it's still in the body. Mm-hmm. And it does that through three things. One is that the design of the ProteX is in a much smaller concentrated surface area, which eliminates this significant temperature drop. And that drop actually sets off shock proteins and the metabolic processes that damage sperm. So we don't want that to be activated. So that design eliminates that. We also add 1 ml of media. And that media is used to balance the pH in addition to osmoregulating the sample, which keeps that sperm in a quiescent state until it naturally wakes up to a higher motility. ProteX is seen to give increased motility by 50%. Fertilization capability increases with higher sperm counts. And our recent clinical study is actually seeing a greater success in pregnancy outcomes.
Have you seen successes in some of the other situations that were mentioned, the immediate use, the surrogate situation? Have you seen any results of storing for long periods of time?
So what we are seeing that with the fact that the sperm is at a higher health, it is a greater health, and especially biochemical health, where you see the acrosomes are intact and your mitochondrial membranes are intact. And because of that gives better outcomes, whether you're using it for storage, using it and then, cryopreserving that sample for use later, or for fresh fertility procedures now. So all of those better health for sperm gives you better outcomes for any of these uses down the line.
How widely available is ProteX? Is this something that has just been newly released, or has it been around for a while?
So we actually launched ProteX in 2021. It is available at major clinics across the United States. Ask your clinic for ProteX. There's a high awareness about ProteX. It is widely available through rsifertility.com and through your fertility specialist.
I did hear a website mentioned. If you would you repeat that website for our listeners, where we can learn more about RSI and about ProteX?
So our website is www.rsifertility.com.
Well, I appreciate you joining us here on Health Professional Radio. Is there anything that you'd like to add for our listeners?
Look, I would say that because of fertility being on the rise, encouraging your male partner, encouraging the men out there to get checked, to know their reproductive health status. Healthier sperm leads to better outcomes. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard, in conversation with Diana Peninger, President and CEO of Reproductive Solutions. Audio copies of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in, download at SoundCloud, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, Health Professional Radio.